startatom.com. They want you to install their application so that your Trello can talk to your Jira board, or your Trello can talk to your Slack group, or your Slack group can talk to your Microsoft Teams group if your team is split up. Once they own that, they'll then launch services behind it. So you can say, hey, in the Trello board at Start Atom, we need a animated graphic designed for our product hunt launch. And he will jump in and do that. That's his bread and butter because he comes from Speedlancer, where he raised they call it $1 million for to build that starting in 2015, pivoting now here this year into startatom.com to build distribution first and then go back to the marketplace model. We will see what happens. Hey folks, my guest today is Adam Stone. He's a serial entrepreneur and Forbes 30 Under 30 list maker with experience in e-commerce, marketplace, and SaaS. Having founded Speedlancer, he spun up the software that was built into a standalone SaaS called Start Atom. He's automating data, automating management, and Start Atom unifies communication and project management tools, helping teams align faster and get more done quicker. Adam, you ready to take us to the top?
Let's do it.
All right, I guess first question, you spun this out of Speedlancer. So let's start there. What was Speedlancer and what year did you spin it out?
Speedlancer started in 2015. Basically, my business endeavors started when I was 11 or 12, but I started in e-commerce when I was 14. And I couldn't hire people sitting next to me in high school and then university. So I ended up being a big user of Odesk and Elance at the time, which merged to become Upwork. And so I decided to start my own freelancing marketplace called Speedlancer. And in 2015, there was no verticalized freelancing marketplaces. We were probably the first one after Fiverr, I guess, if you count them as verticalized. But we tried to eliminate the hiring, picking, choosing, recruiting process of freelancers. We built a lot of technology around that. We raised a little bit of money, but really VCs didn't really believe in us.
How much?
It was less than $1 million over a number of years,
Okay.
a few different rounds. But we did build amazing technology that we have a patent pending on and stuff. And so that led into Start Atom because COVID led to a proliferation of freelancing marketplaces. I don't know about you, but it seems to me like every second business, hobby business, is a freelancing platform of some sort, connecting people to companies now. I guess I saw that trend start to shift. And so we decided to bring our technology out for other agencies and marketplaces and teams in general. So Start Atom is a communication and project management app without an app. We connect existing tools that you use together. So for example, you can create cross-platform communication groups between Slack, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, SMS. So you can be chatting with a bunch of people, clients, whoever you like, your accountant, through any tools. We also extend that with integrations to existing tools to bring them into the conversation. So like
very cool.
Trello and Jira.
Give us a sense of economics here, right? So this sounds like a great product. What are companies paying on average to use the technology per month?
We actually just launched like 2 weeks ago. We're working out our pricing model right now. So happy to talk about a bit of the thoughts that's going into that. But we have an API and then a sort of standalone product.
What do you think you're going to launch in terms of what your pricing structure is? You've got a pricing page on the website.
Yeah, we were looking at user-based pricing, and now I think we're looking at we want to incentivize all users in a company to use it. So we're not so much looking at user-based pricing now; it's more communication-based pricing. Are we going to charge per group, per channel that we create, sort of thing? And so it'll be like affordable, but hopefully it'll scale up nicely as well for us.
Well, so what happened with Speedlancer? Did you shut it down, or someone else bought it, or who's running that?
It's operating, but to be honest, we're winding it down as we're focusing on the SaaS. So it's the same entity. And we actually raised our round for Start Atom, and our new investors are very supportive of our vision. And so, yeah.
How much did you raise in that round?
We actually haven't announced it, but happy to announce it here.
Let's go.
1.175, I think it was, in the last round.
Okay. And you just closed the money's hit. You just closed it this week?
No, the money we closed in April last year, and we just launched the product a couple of weeks ago on Product Hunt. It was a big build because we have a lot of integrations that need to be developed with basically underlying tech infrastructure that's built to scale. My CTO is an retired AI professor from Brazil. He built out the banking infrastructure in Brazil in the 1980s. It's still used today. So our infrastructure is built to scale. And so that was it was a long-winded process, but I guess that's our moat in a way.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. So you raised $1 million between 2015 and today. You raised $1 million for Speedlancer, and then you communicate to the board, this isn't working. We're going to do something new. They said, Adam, we love your vision. Here's another 1.175 million. So you've raised about, you call it 2.1 million to date across the combined entities.
Yeah, 1.9 or something like that. Yeah, but it was actually different investors. So our existing investors, some of them followed on, but yeah, we had a different lead.
I see. And then I guess when you did the original round in Speedlancer, most folks, even back in the day, were selling, 15, 20% of the business in the pre-seed round. Is that sort of where you were?
We did pretty well. I'm not going to talk like actual valuations, but if you talk about like our team being, led by an AI professor, for example, that was a big deal. I think the fact that our journey has taken so long was actually kind of a benefit because the investors knew and trusted that we knew the problem set inside and out, and they really just believed in us. And also, the timing was everything, right? So if you look at April last year,
I'm not talking about the April round. I'm talking about the round before that, before you even had Star Adam.
Before that, yeah, I'd say that was accurate. Yeah.
Okay, you sold about 15, 20%. Yeah. I mean, look, most folks, you're 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years in now at this point into the combined sort of entity. So hopefully you'll get a better valuation, obviously give up less percent of the company. I guess this begs the question though, why not just shut down Speedlancer and start from scratch with a clean cap table?
I love these questions because they're not too relevant to like the majority of founders listening wouldn't have to consider that question, right? So I love that you're asking it because it's relevant to people who are in this similar position. But yeah, to answer the question, we did it to look after our investors, for one. So we had these previous investors who are on us on an 7 or 8 year journey with us, right, and backed us every step of the way. And so it was important to me that their notes actually converted into something. And our new investors were quite supportive of that. The second thing is, although we're building a SaaS now, our long-term vision is that we reintegrate services into it. So once we own the communication between, say, you and me, if we're communicating, we don't have to do that via email anymore. We can do it from your WhatsApp to my Slack account, for example. What if in that channel, you can say, hey, I actually, like, let's say we're collaborating together and you want a header graphic made for the podcast. You could go at Speedlancer within the channel and say, I need a header graphic made. So I want to reintegrate services down the line when we own the marketing distribution.
Do you
So
think that's a big enough value add to get people to switch? I mean, look, what I just heard you say is like the friction I have when I use freelance or Upwork or whatever is I've got to go post the job. What you're saying is you never have to leave your communication tools. You just tag Speedlancer and we know what the job is automatically. And I guess my question is, do you think it's a big enough, is that a big enough value add to get people to stop, using the Upwork or the freelancer?
yeah, I think if you own the distribution channel and you plug in directly where it matters, I do think so. If you're the most convenient way to get work done, then yes. So, for example, we actually Speedlancer already plugs into Trello now using Start Atom, and so you can set up a Trello board and send tasks to Speedlancer from Trello, and we're the first marketplace to do that. So I think yeah,
Well,
if
your
you
your ability though to get stuff done quickly in a marketplace is obviously very, very dependent on how you recruit your folks doing the jobs and then how you recruit the businesses asking for the jobs. So I guess talk about that supply demand for a second. How many folks in the past 30 days did at least, a worker did at least one job via Speedlancer or Start Atom?
Yeah, so I can talk to like when we were fully ramped up with Speedlancer. Right now, we're in the ramping down stage. So I think it's going to look like this for Speedlancer, like an arc where Speedlancer will come back once we own the distribution channel. Because I don't really want to be paying for acquisition right now in such a it's a red ocean right now in terms of freelancing platforms. So I'm staying out of it. We're not spending any
Okay,
money.
so you're avoiding the marketplace risk by saying, let me just get B2B SaaS companies to stick us in between their communication channels between
Yes.
Slack and Microsoft Teams. Once I own that, then I'll go spin back up the marketplace. It'll be easier.
And a bunch of other what we call superpowers, right? So
Yeah.
you'll be able to do time tracking from within the communication. You could maybe talk to something like Chat GPT from within the channel. So
Understood. But
yeah,
how do you? So what you're saying is you're betting on your mouse edge, your wedge right now is getting folks to use this communication tool. But like, how do you beat established firms that spend much more on R&D, like ClickUp, Asana? I mean, Jira. I mean, there's so many tools like this already. How do you win?
yeah, it's funny. That's actually going in our deck right now. And as our investors said, it was very very interesting of them. It's a massive market, but it doesn't seem to be winner takes all. So I'm just going to say it's like $1 trillion industry. Like even Salesforce itself is 200 billion dollar market cap or whatever they are. If you combine them all together, you're edging on a multiple $100 billion industry between CRM, project management tools, and other SaaSes. What we do is sort of glue them together, not necessarily in a Zapier way, but we do it through communication. So how do we beat other tools? Well, we're going to work with them. So we're already getting leads from the Trello App Store, for example. We're launching on the Jira App
How many
Store.
how many leads did you get from the Trello App Store last month?
We've had like 700 or more to date over the last couple of months.
Wow. Okay, and that's from
That's
Start
actual
Atom.
installs, just Start Atom, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's from
Interesting.
one app store, right? So we're launching on Microsoft Teams, Slack, Jira, and Trello. So we're hoping that that's actually going to be a good distribution strategy for us. SEO is also very good for us, which is great because my background happens to be in SEO, so it's very handy. But yeah, we want to work with other platforms and help them bring in their tools into the conversation.
Adam, let's talk about the distribution though, because there's people listening right now going, I want to rank really high in Trello. I want 700 leads per month from Trello, right? You're listed under the power up section of Trello. Trello, from what I can tell, doesn't use anything like number of reviews, of all that to decide who they show first, second, third. So I'm on the Start Atom profile right now. You have great animations, by the way, but how do people find the app in the Trello App Store, which is very busy?
Yeah, I think every app store is going to be different. So we're learning, and I'm happy to share more as we learn. But what I do know about Trello in particular is there's a randomization component, which to me is really nice because it means that they give everyone the opportunity. So if you click on the communication category, I think you said in two categories, they give you two,
Yep.
which is also
Power ups and communication and collaboration.
yeah. There you go. So if you click on communication collaboration and you click on it every time, you'll see it's a different rotation.
Yep.
So what that means is we can actually predict a steady volume of traffic and installs from that.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, got it. So you're getting leads from Trello right now. That's working nicely. Sorry, what's the next app exchange you want to go to?
We're going to be on Jira hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We're just revamping our Trello app to fix a bunch of onboarding issues.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that we'll see those changes in our analytics start to appear in
Mm-hmm.
terms of usage and activation. So Jira is coming next, and then Slack. We're just waiting for them to approve us, and then Microsoft Teams.
So let's talk about, I mean, the elephant in the room is like, okay, why haven't you asked anyone to pay yet? And why isn't at least one person paying it? What's taking so long?
We only just set up analytics last week. So we set up with a platform called Amplitude. So we're now able to see everything happening within our SaaS. So before that, I felt like we were sort of walking around blind. And I think now we can start to charge people. We are working out our pricing model. But here's a question. Here's the question that's going through our mind, right? If we charge per channel, we have an innate viral coefficient, because if I want to use it and I want you to use it to communicate with me, then I've onboarded a new user. Then let's say there's a 10% chance you're going to create your own channel. If you take that 10% chance and invite someone else, then we've created a 2-to-1 viral coefficient, or maybe you've invited 2 people. So
but you don't want to surprise, like, this is a massive mistake founders make those. You don't want to charge for what's driving your viral coefficient. It's why Zapier doesn't charge by number, like they charge by number of zaps for a reason, not by number of things you've connected.
Yeah. So this is what we're trying to think about. We're right in the process of modeling this out. So it's a really great question. I don't want to disincentivize that. We might give a certain number of channels away for free, but actually if they're all viral, like, we don't want to charge for that. So how are we going to charge? And do we have enough features? Like, we would definitely want to charge for our Trello and Jira apps. So we can charge for extensions, but maybe the communication piece is our wedge.
And I guess, how do you know right now how many users love your platform? How many, like I've asked you today, how many active users, even if they're free, how many active users do you have? How would you measure that?
Right now, we're looking at installs and distribution, and we're working on usage. So we just launched, right? We saw that the other day we had 17 people try to create a channel and then abandon the process. So that's what I want to fix. How many people?
How many installs today?
We get about 10 installs a day.
Yeah, but like total installs right now on Start Atom.
Including the Trello app, we would have 700 or 800 or 900.
Okay. And so how do you know, like, if you're going to charge, you can only put pricing in front of 10 people. How do you sort that 800 to figure out which 10 to show pricing to first?
So right now we're trying to calculate who our power users are, or rather how to define the power users. So we've got that in Amplitude. We've got a little metric set up called power users. And we can obviously change what we define as that. But those are the ones that we're trying to define as billable users in theory. And then we'll reach out to them and we'll say, hey.
Well, no, but I want to know what the actual, that's what I'm asking. I want to know what the actual thing is, right? How do you know who a power user is?
It could be, let's say they have more than 3 active channels in a given month. Then I would call that a billable user, or a power user. Maybe they're I think they're 2 different concepts. A power user is, I think, people who have sent more than 3 messages in the last few days. So they're actually using us. And obviously the bar will get higher and higher as we get more users.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these freemium tools, the way they reverse engineer pricing is they say we only want to charge 5% of our base. And we need to find the top 5% then of the power users based off number of contacts, number of channels, whatever. And then that's how they figure out who to show pricing to. That's the reverse engineering. So,
and I want to speak to those people and see what they're willing to pay. Right. So yeah.
Well, you're in that process now. We're certainly rooting for you. We appreciate you coming on pre-launch. We hope you come back on in a year, give us an update. But in the meantime, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite book?
Oh, favorite book. It's going to be some psychology book. I don't know which one.
Okay. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
It's always like Elon Musk. I have to say, yeah.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building Start Atom?
My favorite SaaS historically was always Help Scout. Right now, I'd have to say maybe Amplitude.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I get 8.
Okay. And situation, married, single, kids?
I'm partnered, but not married. I have a dog, a puppy.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 28.
28. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Guys, there you have it. StartAtom.com. They want you to install their application so that your Trello can talk to your Jira board, or your Trello can talk to your Slack group, or your Slack group can talk to your Microsoft Teams group if your team is split up. Once they own that, they'll then launch services behind it. So you can say, hey, in the Trello board at Start Atom, we need a animated graphic designed for our product hunt launch. And he will jump in and do that. That's his bread and butter, because he comes from Speedlancer, where he raised $1 million for to build that starting in 2015, pivoting now here this year into StartAtom.com to build distribution first and then go back to the marketplace model. We will see what happens. Adam, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan. See ya.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.